If you've ever Googled anything related to your business finances and come back with 47 different answers that are all conflicting with one another, you're not alone. Here's what most financial advice gets completely wrong. It assumes that everyone is starting from the same point. And guess what? You're not. A business owner that's drowning in disorganized receipts and doesn't know what she made last month has a completely different starting place than a business owner who's profitable, organized, and now just trying to figure out how to save money on taxes. And that's exactly why I do not give cookie cutter advice on this channel. Where you specifically need to start to get your business finances working for you is different than someone else's. And in this video, I'm gonna help you figure out exactly where your personalized starting point is. Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Trull, CPA and financial educator, and here on this channel, I love to bring you all the information you need to stay informed, organized, and profitable in your business finances. So please, please, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, in my work with thousands of business owners, I have seen that there are really 3 different milestones that most business owners go through when it comes to their business finances. And the tools and resources they need at each one of those milestones is going to be different. And this matters because we do not want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to be looking up information, tools, and resources related to milestone 3 when we are in milestone 1 or 2. And that's because these milestones build on each other. Now, before I just tell you what those 3 milestones are, I actually want you to go and take a quiz for yourself. We've just developed a new profit path diagnostic that will help you determine exactly where you are on that milestone journey. And it'll even give you a score for each of the 3 milestones and let you know where you need to focus first. That's going to help you focus in on just the most important things that matter to your business right now. So make sure to check out jamietrull.com/profit path or use the QR code currently on your screen to go and take that diagnostic. All right, so let's talk about what these 3 milestones are, and then I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit more specifically about each one. The first stage is your foundation. This is all about getting the basics in place and making sure that you have an organizational system with your business finances that is gonna work for you. Some key indicators that you might be in this stage are if you have business and personal still mixed together in your account, you haven't found a good system for tracking your deductions and your financial information, and you find yourself really panicking every tax time to get things together, and you genuinely don't necessarily know what you made last month. Now, it's not a bad thing to be in this milestone. This is actually where most business owners should start. And that's because there's always room for improvement when it comes to organization. And that organization can give us clarity around really what's going on in our business that will help set us up to be successful in step 2 and step 3. So the goal here is really about relief and clarity so that you can move on to bigger and more important things. All right, now milestone 2 is all about profit and cash flow. You've got the basics down, you've got an organizational system that's really working for you and you're able to keep up with it, but maybe you feel like you're just working constantly in your business and not seeing the fruits of your labor in your pocketbook. You might be someone that works a lot but doesn't necessarily pay themselves or pays themselves last. And if you're living off what's left, we need to fix that. The goal here is profit maximization and also making sure that you're routinely paying yourself. Now, of course, this is important for all businesses, but if you have not been through step 1, where you've organized everything, it's going to be really hard to have the information and the data that you need in order to become more profitable if you haven't mastered milestone 1. Now, let's move on to milestone 3, which is all about protecting your profit. Now, most people who hit milestone 3 are probably in a place where they're running a pretty profitable business. They're paying themselves and things seem to be going rather well on the business end. However, you may be worried that you're paying way too much in taxes and you feel like you're leaving money on the table. You know that there are strategies out there that could help you save money, but you're just not sure where to start and your accountant doesn't seem too interested in helping you figure it out. The goal of this stage is all about protection. We want to keep more of what you've built. So those are the 3 milestones. And like I said, they build on each other. And I'll say that rather than this being just a linear path, I would say it's more like a circle. You go from milestone 1 to milestone 2 to milestone 3, and then back around again, because there are always things that we can improve and optimize. Now, let's talk a little bit more deeply about what it looks like in milestone 1. Importantly, milestone 1 isn't just about how much money you make. You might be making quite a bit of money and still need to master milestone 1. And in fact, that's true for a lot of quickly growing businesses. You probably didn't go into business because you love spreadsheets and accounting and all of that. You're probably just really good at the thing that you do. But now in this world of entrepreneurship, you all of a sudden have all kinds of other things to worry about, like bookkeeping and taxes. Now, interestingly enough, for the different milestones, the pain points might be the same. For example, all 3 milestones might think tax season is a total bear, but it's probably for slightly different reasons. So for example, our milestone 1 business owners are probably scrambling to get things ready for tax time, putting together spreadsheets, going through their accounts, trying to find all of their deductions, and really cutting it down to the wire. And that's because they just don't have a system that has worked for them that keeps them organized in their finances year round. Yes, they might also have a problem with profitability, which is milestone 2, and potentially a problem with how much they're paying in taxes, which is milestone 3, but we can't even get there until we address milestone 1. At this stage, we don't even need to be thinking about things like S corporations or expensive tax strategy. What you do need are these things instead. In milestone 1, we start by making sure that our business is fully separated from our personal. And that means we're not using the same bank accounts, the same credit cards. We are keeping everything fully separated. It also means you have a bookkeeping system, whether that be a system like QuickBooks or Xero, or maybe it is a spreadsheet, but it is something you're actively keeping up with on at least a monthly basis so that you know how your business is doing. At this stage, it doesn't need to be a perfect or even complicated system. It just needs to be one that works. And the key is that it will generate a profit and loss statement for you that you can take a look at and keep tabs on throughout the year. And the other thing that you need at this stage is an understanding of what types of things that you can deduct so that you can make sure you're not leaving money on the table. Some people choose to DIY everything related to milestone 1, and some people realize, you know what, I'm probably not going to keep up with this myself, so I need to hire this out. Either way, the key is to make sure that you have access to reliable, complete data that's going to help you make decisions in your business, because that's going to be really important when we get to milestone 2. Which brings me to milestone 2, maximizing your profit. Now, in milestone 2, you might have hit some pretty significant revenue markers for yourself. Maybe your business hit $100,000 in revenue and you're really excited about that. But somehow, no matter how much you work, it feels like you're not really seeing it come through in how much you can pay yourself. You might be working more than ever, maybe you have some contractors helping you out, but you're managing all the different things in your business largely by yourself. You never know exactly what you could take out of the business safely, and so you end up keeping a lot of cushion in the business, which means less money to be able to pay you. Deep down, you might even be asking, is it even worth it? If this sounds like you, my friend, you've probably reached what I call the hump. The hump is where pretty much every business owner gets to, where they have really maxed out what they are able to do with true might alone. Maybe you're in a service-based business and you're trading dollars for hours and you just don't know how you're going to be able to make more money with the amount of time you have on your plate. The number one way I can spot a milestone 2 person is when they say they feel overworked and underpaid. And that's why we need to get you over that hump. That's what milestone 2 is all about. At this stage, you need a real profit plan, not necessarily a line-by-line budget, but a plan for profiting in your business. One that can help you determine how much you can take out of your business, how much you need to save for taxes, and how much you're going to reinvest. This is also where pricing becomes really, really important. In milestone 1, we can get away with our pricing being a little loosey-goosey, but by the time we get to milestone 2, we really need to be taking some intentionality to setting our prices. And that's why pricing is one of the 8 different profit levers that I talk about in my book, Hidden Profit. Hidden Profit is helpful for people at all 3 different milestones, but let me tell you, it's really written for my milestone 2 people. The profit levers are there to help you find hidden profit that's already hiding in your business. The 8 profit levers that I talk about in the book are designed to help you find profit without more hustle, because I know you've hustled enough. And the other thing a milestone 2 person needs is clarity on how they're going to be able to scale their business. Getting over the hump often requires fairly big and sometimes scary investments like hiring, but that's key to your ability to scale your business further. So stage 2 is really where the work shifts from getting organized to really putting that data to work. It's not just about tracking money, it's about making intentional decisions with that data. All right, now milestone 3 is where things get really interesting. This one's about protecting your profit. At this point, you've done the work. You've built the operations, you probably have at least one or more employees, and you are running a pretty profitable business. Financially, you feel like you've made it. But with your tax bill, something just doesn't sit right. You give everything over to your accountant once a year for them to file your taxes, but they don't really seem to be giving you proactive advice on how you could save. You might be wondering if you should change your entity type in order to get better tax benefits, or if other tax strategies you've heard about would work for you, like hiring your kids. The main pain points related to your business finances in stage 3 aren't about organization or even your level of effort that you're putting in. You've proven that you can do the work. The problem is that strategies actually available to you at this stage require someone who actually understands small business finances and doesn't give generic advice. So what you actually need at this stage. This is a stage at which it's time to get more strategic with your tax strategy. But thankfully, that doesn't mean that you have to hire someone and pay them tens of thousands of dollars to do a whole tax strategy plan. Those do exist, but you probably don't need to pay that. And often at this stage, it's just about having enough knowledge of strategies that exist that you can go and have a conversation with your accountant and know what questions to ask. And if they're not knowledgeable about any of these strategies, that might be an indication that it's time to change. That's why stage 3 is about protecting your wealth. And milestone 3 isn't just about protecting your wealth for you and saving on taxes. It can also be about your future legacy. There are strategies that, yes, help you save on taxes, but also can help you set your kids up for the future. And that's where hiring your kids, one of my favorite strategies, comes in. It's great for people in milestone 3 because it solves multiple problems. It can help you reduce your tax bill by shifting your income from a higher tax bracket, yours, to a lower tax bracket, your kids. But it also opens up the door to be able to open a Roth IRA for your child and put money into it over time that is both tax-free now and will grow tax-free. And that's something specific that only business owners can do. Now, you can probably guess why you want to do milestone 3 after milestone 2. And that's because the best benefits in milestone 3 around tax savings really only exist once your business is sufficiently profitable. That also just so happens to be when you tend to increase your tax rate. And that's when we have the most opportunities to be able to save. I often see people putting the cart before the horse and wanting to understand tax saving strategies before they have an organizational system and before they've maximized the profit that their business is making. And in my opinion, as a CPA, taxes should always come last. We maximize profit in our business, and then we try to figure out the most optimized way to handle taxes. Now, if you're wondering exactly where you are on this, which milestone, you may be able to self-select. You might already know which one you need to start with, but I've also created a diagnostic that will give you a score in each one of these areas and help you determine what your next steps specifically are. Plus, it'll give you suggestions for resources on how to get started. To get your personalized diagnostic, go to jamietrull.com/profit path. Remember, it's totally free. Now, once you've taken the diagnostic, or even if you've just self-selected, make sure to tell me down below which of these milestones you think you are and what you're going to focus on first. Importantly, no matter which milestone you are in, I have content here on this channel just for you. So make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.